Day 364 from starting the build. Black soldier fly flying around. These are the Jolly Ponds. We've changed the light out. We've added a light. Well, actually didn't add it, we just changed out. We went up to a little bit of a bigger one since this plant seems to be wanting to stretch crazy. We got a little bit of a bigger light. We can raise it up and down if we need to. Right now these the par is sitting at around 450-ish, 500 on the light meter. Same goes for over there and on the OK Calyx Cherry Grandes. The Divine Pine is, I believe this one here is a male, and I think hopefully that one is spitting out a few hairs. Very hard to tell on that one for some reason or another. You can see our aggregate, we call on this Nugget Alley. And we've got some agates, excuse me, I was corrected on that the other day. I'm saying aggregate, there's no R, and that's my fault. I did not know that. I've always been pronouncing it aggregates, and it's actually agate. So an agate, these little things, they come out of the quarry. Super cool. I'm really fascinated with them. I ordered some more from him, so we're gonna actually have quite a few agates in the system. Oh, the big fish is out. Don't see him out moving around much. I'm pretty sure it's a goldfish, but the guy at the bait and tackle where I got these bullheads at, I got just a bunch of bullheads out of bait and tackle shop around the corner from me here, and that big old, it looked like a goldfish, but he said it came with the bullheads, but I don't know, hard to tell, it's hard to see. Shrimp, there's cherry shrimp. Got quite a few. I think we've got 4 of those in here. We've got a big old goldfish, 3 algae eaters, and 4 of the other bullhead, little tiny minnows, like those orange ones there. Those are little bullheads, I think. That's what he told me anyway. A couple other, I think there's a couple of shiner minnows in there, and the shiner minnow that I caught down at the reservoir is still in there. We're starting to see some good growth in the grasses coming up along the edge. And that's what we're looking for. We're going to be adding more sand, silt, and clay to the edges of the creek. We did our first water change yesterday. Wasn't a big one. I think I did like 15 gallons out of the fish pond. I took the wand, the water wand that we have over here, and sprayed out the center of the creek and washed a lot of that algae down into the fish pond. The fish don't mind it. They eat it. Did a 15-gallon water change, and creek is looking great. Pond's looking great this morning. I have not checked the nitrates or ammonia or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's pretty good. I mean, we started off with high nutrients in the creek. That's because we brought all that stuff in from the reservoir. We brought all in the sand and silt. All that stuff had nutrients, tons of nutrients in it already. So we have to work through that a little bit, and that's where the algae growth comes. We're never going to get rid of all the algae because we have lights in here, and lights create algae. And even when in the clearest of water, we can keep it pretty clean by doing just a simple washout with the wand and letting that stuff get on down there, and the fish just eat it on up. So that's basically all we have to do. I'm not going to be doing a lot of water changes. I might do one small one every month, maybe 2 months, if that. If I see it needs it, then I might do it. But the reason I did it the other day is just because it was just something I thought I needed to do, because I've always done it, even though this is a system that's unlike anything I've ever run before, anything I've ever done, like even outdoor in the pond, you know, when it rains, it gets water change. What I'm doing here is dripping in that dehu, that's clean dehu. I have tested it. There is no heavy metals in it. We will retest it, you know, throughout the months, just to make sure that the dehu isn't leaking any type of heavy metals into the dehu water. Once that's, you know, as that's dripping, that's adding fresh water. So it's basically, as the water evaporates in all the spots that it ripples and bubbles up, it's evaporating. As it evaporates, we're just dumping it back. We're catching that evaporation with the dehu and dumping it right back into the fish pond, which is basically like a cleaning. It's cleaning the water out the air, dumps fresh water back into the fish pond, allowing me not to have to do a water change or have to top off the water. I've had to top off at the beginning a couple of times. Actually, when it rained really heavy and I had 100% humidity outside, because this is not a sealed room. We use the HVAC, the mini split, to clean the air, along with the dehu to clean the air. So there is no exhaust, there's no carbon filters, there's none of that in here. That clean water comes back in. Now I don't have to top off at all. I'm basically holding the same amount of water over the course of 3 or 4 days. After 3 or 4 days, I might have to add, depending on how humid it is outside. If it was 100% humidity, actually I was putting in too much, and I was raising the level of the pond over the course of 2 days. So what I've learned is that I don't have to, the only time I have to really pay attention is when it's a couple of days of rain around here. Like say if I have 2 or 3 days of heavy rain outside and it's humid for 2 or 3 days, in here it gets super humid. So the dehu works double overtime and pumps twice as much water into the system, and therefore I have to actually remove some of the water. So I had to actually remove some water last week during the big rainstorm we had. But other than that, we're going to have to add a little bit more sand, silt, and clay to the bottom of the creek. So as we, you know, do the wand and wash a lot of that stuff down, a lot of that sand, silt, and clay is getting washed into the fish pond. So we'll just have to re-amend the sand, silt, and clay, which we have outside in a tote. We've already cleaned it. It's ready to go. I just bring a handful in and sprinkle it along the center, and it all just sinks right down and replenishes what we took. You can see some more grasses coming. That's what we're looking for, all those little grasses. You can see them coming over there. So eventually, hopefully, all of that pea gravel will be covered in green grass. All of that will be roots into the system, which will be sucking up the nitrate and the fish, everything that goes along with cleaning the fish pond and fish creek, or the creek system, will be done by the plants. So the more plants we have, the cleaner the water will be, and the healthier the system will run. Check out this snail. These are cool. That's a zebra nitrate snail. I believe that's what they call them. Nitrates. I can't pronounce it. And this is a golden one. They're great cleaner. Here's a tiger. That's a tiger. I don't know if you can see. There you go. There's a tiger. And there's another zebra. Those are great cleaners. There's a shiner fish, a couple little golden minnows. Oh, there's my algae eater. He's cool. I can't wait for him to get big. We'll have to get us an underwater camera. We'll stick the camera down there and be able to get good shots of him. So far everything's looking good. Cherry Grande by OK Calyx is very nice. Those two, the Jolly Pond Farm and the OK Calyx, just took off, and there's a reason. So we've got the Blue Ridge here. So you see the Blue Ridge and the Divine. You can see the difference in these, and it's not the genetics. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's genetics. It's not the genetics. I did something different in this corner than I did over in these three. And what I did is that in these three pockets, it was kind of a test. And what I did was, instead of wrapping the sand, silt, and clay layer up over the wall and into the soil, I stopped the sand, silt, and layer right here and did not put it into the soil. So I didn't lay a layer of sand, silt, and clay underneath this mulch when I was building it. So I had soil, and then I laid a thin layer of the sand, silt, and clay. Didn't mix it, just laid it over top of the soil. Not here, but over here in these places. And you can see the difference. And it was that added layer coming up from here, comes up underneath the moss, underneath the mulch layer, on top of the soil. There's a 1/2 inch layer of sand, silt, and clay, the same stuff that's in the creek, and extends it all the way through on top of the soil. That is what's wicking water out of the creek, under the moss, and into the bed. The roots tap into that sand, silt, and clay, and once the biology gets in there, consistent water source, and it's game over. I can tell a huge difference. So when these plants are done,